Why do people invest? Hi guys, it's Ian from Ripehouse Advisory, General Manager of Sales and Marketing, and today we're going to be talking about what are people's investment goals and why do they actually come to Ripehouse? I'm joined by my colleague Julian, who's the Head of Strategy at Ripehouse. And Julian, we're often speaking to people about their goals and their reasons why. At times we have high net worth individuals that come to us and want to invest their family office money, etc., into Ripehouse, but we also have people that have fairly common goals that come and want to invest with us. So I thought we'd share with the viewers and the subscribers today some of the different reasons as to why people are investing with Ripehouse right now. Yeah,
it's a good question, Ian, and I guess to break it down for everybody, property investing isn't really just reserved for people who are just looking to get uber wealthy. It's really important that you kind of define why you're wanting to invest, whether it be in property, shares, other, crypto, whatever it might be. And there's multitudes of reasons why someone might be investing in property. I think it's probably good to have a bit of a breakdown, and that might be. And though there are certain segments that are super wealthy coming through, probably the average punter coming through are mum and dad investors that are looking to make their way through it. And probably one of the most common ones is people looking to pay off their mortgage. So, the average, the loan terms we're taking up these days for a place to live in is 30 years, right? And if you're getting your first home, I think the first home these days, the average person is buying it at 36. So if it's a 30-year loan, you're holding that property, you're not getting to the age of 66 until you've paid that off. And most people would like to think they're either at or getting close to retirement at that age, and the last thing they want to be worrying about is that they're still plugging away trying to pay off their mortgage. So what's that paying off your mortgage strategy is a really, really effective one, where someone might go out there and buy a property for an investment purposes. So they've got their home, they've got a mortgage on it, but they've got borrowing capacity available to them. They go and buy that investment property, and it's not a forever hold. It's something where they might go out there and buy that investment property for $500,000. They hold on to it for a typical growth cycle. Now, we know the longer term average is about every 8.5 years it doubles in value. So if all of a sudden we've doubled its value, we're obviously going to have selling costs and capital gains taxes, etc. But if you're able to walk away with $300,000, $400,000 in profit in your pocket post that sale, that is a really, really effective way to pay off your mortgage quicker. And I guess from a tax purposes point of view, what a lot of people don't understand when they've got a large mortgage on their property is everything you pay on your home loan is non-deductible debt firstly. So you don't get to claim the interest you're paying. You don't get to claim your rates that you're paying and maintenance and all those kind of bills. So, and it's also post-tax, right? So it's the money you're paying after the tax man's already taken away from your gross income. So it's a really effective strategy to not only help you pay off your pay off your home loan quicker, but it's also a really effective way to make sure you're going to be more tax efficient moving forward.
Yeah, and I think some people too just have that mindset that they want to be mortgage free on their own home that they own, and this is a really effective way to help people be able to do that.
Yeah, and if we're talking about a lot of people, if you speak to them, they want work-life balance, and what work-life balance might mean to some people is they want to be able to work part-time, or they want to be able to, work one day less a week, or they want to be able to travel more, eat out more. There's one really easy way to be able to get yourself into that position is, no longer having to worry about that mortgage repayment each and every month. So it's a really, really effective goal, and can be really micro goals. I think a lot of people are investing in partnerships, whether it's, they're doing it together, whether it's brother, sister, or family, whatever it may be. It's really important that everybody's aligned, and, if a common goal for everybody can be, let's make objective number one is to pay off our mortgage, then, plan number two can be something else.
Fantastic.
And
our next one, Jules, why else is someone wanting to invest with and use Ripehouse Advisory to help them invest?
Yep. So another one's rent vesting. So a lot of people obviously want that flexibility of not being tied down for a mortgage. If the Latin term for mortgage or mort is debt. That's right. So they want that flexibility where they don't have to have that I guess they're a slave to a mortgage, right? Where they've got to just keep working away to just keep chipping in that thing.
And also, Jules, you and I are both investors, and we actually both do this right now.
Yep.
So this is something that we, I guess, practice what we preach a little bit in regards to this as well.
Yeah, that's right.
But talk to the audience a little bit more about rent vesting and what it is and how it works.
Yeah, so rent vesting is essentially renting where you would like to live. So you might be living in a multi-million or high-end suburb or type property where you might not be able to either afford buying it, or you just don't want to take on that burden and cash flow pressure that it's associated with buying that property. And you want the flexibility, whether it be you can travel more, you can work overseas, or you just don't have to have that pressure and just being a slave to your mortgage. But what they continue to do is they continue to focus on growing their wealth. So they're making sure that though they're renting, they're still making sure that their money's working for them. So they go out there and they buy investment properties, whether it be locally or across the country, to still continue to grow their wealth. Now, the ultimate goal from that rent vesting strategy might be that the individual might sell those properties off later on to pay off their own mortgage, or to buy their home without a mortgage, I should say, or to travel more, have their own startup, whatever it may be. But it's really just understanding rent vesting isn't a one philosophy where we're working to one goal. It's a wealth creation strategy. Yeah. The next one, I guess it's really and growing super popular is
super popular.
Oh, that was no pun intended, that one. But so self-managed super funds. So I think as people start to get, there's obviously the access to information now is getting stronger and stronger when it comes to self-managed super funds. So for somebody just jumping in and not understanding what a self-managed super fund is, so most of the people who are employed are getting their super income put into a managed fund. So it's by a professional organisation deciding where to invest their money, and they're not doing it for free. People have got to get paid, so they pay a fixed fee. It's not a fixed fee. There's a percentage of your balance that's taken out of that, and a lot of people just, I guess, get sick of underperformance because the average fund grows pretty much at the same rate as what property does, but that's before fees are taken out, and you're unleveraged. So there's no borrowing. So if you've got $200,000 invested in your super fund, they're not leveraging you and getting you into $1 million asset. You got a $200,000 investment in there. So you get pretty subpar performance. So what's really common these days, and I'd say it's growing by popularity each and every month, where there's more and more inquiries coming through at a strategy and business level, where people are going out there, they're setting up their self-managed super fund with their accountant and financial planner, then getting a loan set up with their broker, and they're just wanting to take control and be in full control of where their money's invested. And I think from even if you speak to the average punter in terms of projects or stocks, the anonymity of just investing in a project where you don't know who's in charge, what the return's going to be, as opposed to brick and mortar, people can relate to it. It's becoming super popular.
And, it's that institutional investing that maybe we've all been conditioned to over time, perhaps that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be that way. You can take control of your own investment journey by setting up that self-managed super fund. And we'll talk about it at the end of the session as well. But if you're interested to know more about the process of setting that up, please put your information in at the end of the show link, and we'll be able to get in contact and have a chat with you about it. But Jules, the next topic that we're going to, the other reason why people would want to invest with Ripehouse.
Yes, so and other people are just kind of like, it's a bit of whether it's a sea change, whether they want to upgrade their home or location. So they might not be able to afford, just like the rent vesting side of things or paying off their mortgage, they might not be able to afford to do it, or they want to take on more debt. So very similar strategy. They're using their extra borrowing capacity available to them, getting that growth asset and, holding it for that period of growth, using it to upgrade their home and location. Because obviously if you're living in that property, you selling that property off, you do have your selling costs, but you don't have your capital gains tax that you have to worry about. But yeah, it helps them, upgrade their location or their home. So that's another, I'd probably say it's a smaller portion, but it is a different focus.
And it keeps the significant other happy in some instances.
Absolutely. So, this is what I say, there's probably people watching right now that, because I've self-professed being one of these people before, where it's really important that, your goals are really meshed together with your investing partner, whether it's husband, wife, brother, sister, whatever it may be, that, not everybody wants to be in your relationship or just in general wants to build up this massive property portfolio. They may be happy to make some sacrifices, get into the property and grow their wealth, but they also might be that they want to see, their improvement of their lifestyle. We can't always just work our whole life just to collect things for the sake of it. So it's definitely one that we work through. And then the final one is improving for retirement. So retirement looks different for everybody, right? Some people want to get into retirement and have all their assets paid off and have, a fairly modest income if you're all your mortgages are paid off and you've got a few paid off assets as well and they're generating an income. That's fantastic. Others really want to, ramp up their lifestyle in terms of retirement. So they might build up a property portfolio, then, get themselves where they're really, really capital rich, but cash flow maybe poor, we should say.
Yep.
They might look to liquidate those assets and just start to invest in higher cash flow producing assets that may be a slightly weaker in terms of growth or leverage standpoint. So things like commercial property, for example, much higher net. We're talking about net rental yields, but capital growth typically not as strong. Also, you're going to be kind of restricted in terms of your LVRs. You're typically getting so there's a bit more risk appetite. And really important to pick the right type of property, but can be a great way. So that's one of the big ones. But sometimes it's a mesh of all of those strategies put together. The one thing I say to pretty much everybody when it comes to property investing through any of these strategies, the number one thing that really doesn't change regardless of what the strategy is for the individual is asset selection is paramount. If you go out there and you pick the wrong property, which most people when they're investing, they spend all their time at the bottom part of the pyramid, which, if you've got your food group pyramid, everybody should be eating, meat and veggies and that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, maybe not most people are doing that. But when it comes to property investing, a lot of people are trying to find out what structure should I buy in, what interest rate should I get, all the things that aren't really going to impact your actual performance of the asset. The asset type and the location are the most important things, because if we get that right, regardless of the strategy, that leveraged growth is going to put us in a position where, are we selling that property off to pay off the mortgage? Are we selling that property off for profit to have more capital to deploy for cash flow? Are we rent vesting? Whatever it may be, asset selection is paramount, and that's probably should be the number one focus, regardless of what your strategy is.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's great, Jules. Thank you so much for taking us through that, and hopefully the viewers and the subscribers took a fair bit from that. But if you'd like to know more, please click in the show notes below, and we'll get you to speak to one of our team. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you back here again soon.